What's up guys, Julian Michael here and welcome to a new episode of the Tasting with Julian show.
Very beautiful steak here.
Today we're tasting wines from a rather famous and pretty popular Spanish winery up in Rioja, Bodegas Muga. Bodegas Muga is a pretty large winery, not huge, but it's pretty large. They have a pretty extensive range of wines. They make about 10 different wines. They've sent me 6 of them. So this is going to be a 2-part series tasting their wines. We're starting today with the most affordable, their best-selling wines. Those range between around $15 to $30, $35. We'll see what they're worth. Fairly large winery. I believe they make around 2 or 3 million bottles. As a comparison, Rioja makes in total about 390 million bottles. The biggest winery in the area is Campo Viejo. I actually visited it. It's a huge, very big winery. Makes about 30 million bottles. So I've got a video of Campo Viejo. If that's of your interest, go and check this out as well. All the wines, including those that we're tasting today, they're all in some fashion aged in oak. So, white wine, obviously Rioja is much more famous for red wines. Not sure you're familiar with white wines from Rioja. White wines from Rioja are primarily made from Viura grape that you might have heard about under the name Macabeo. This is a fairly light, acidic grape variety. 80% Viura, 10% Malvasia and 10% Garnacha Blanca, which is known in French as Grenache Blanc. As I was saying, this is aged in oak barrels. After fermentation, it's aged on the lees for about 3 months. I mean, the color is fairly light, so we sort of expect a bright, fresh and crisp style of white wine. The nose doesn't contradict that. It's floral. It's got some touches of citrus fruit, apricot, green apple. It's very floral, it's light, it's expressive. Maybe touches of brioche, leesiness, yeastiness from the aging on the lees. This is definitely a dry, vibrant white wine, full of acidity, big punch of acidity as soon as you put it in your mouth. There's plenty of body, plenty of oily body, caramelly, stone fruit flavors, white peach, apricot. So there's a lot going on really in this wine. I'm very surprised. It's a typical European, dry, crisp, vibrant, full of flavor white wine. This is excellent, an excellent white wine. Easy to enjoy, easy to pair with food, all types of food, easy to pair with seafood dishes, but you can also pair this with rich foods, sausages, barbecues, because it's got loads and loads of acidity, it's got loads of power as well. So very versatile, very interesting in the sense that there's a lot to analyze for those that are a bit, more geeky about wine. It's got some elegance, finesse, great overall balance. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this white wine. This is a pale rosé, more like Provence style of rosé wine, maybe a little bit more intense in the color, but we do expect dry rosé wine. Definitely dry. This is made with Viura grape together with Tempranillo and Grenache, if I'm not mistaken. So this is actually a blend of red and white grapes, which is actually pretty rare. Most wine regions in Europe, it's forbidden to actually blend and make rosé wine out of red and white grapes blended, but I believe Rioja is an exception where they're allowed to do that. The other exception, famous exception, is Champagne. This is a very versatile, it's smooth, it's punchy, it's full of concentration, it's full of fruit, full of floral elements as well. but it's got this rounded, seducing, charming smoothness to it as well. So this is going to be a crowd pleaser. It's dry, it's got this European sort of refinement to it, with loads of concentration, flavor. It's interesting. It's more like a white wine. You can pair this with loads of stuff. The Spanish, particularly in Rioja, they love their grilled meats, they love tasty foods, they love tapas, they love some spice to it, you know, like a chorizo sausage. They like foods with a bit of chili, so this is going to go well with barbecues, go well with spicy foods. An excellent wine. It's interesting, it's refined, it's dry, it's pleasing to look at. It's great. This is 2014 Muga Reserva. This is typical Rioja blend, made from majority, I think it's about 80%, 70 or 80% Tempranillo grapes. Tempranillo, typical Spanish grape, especially in Rioja. It's complemented with some Garnacha, bigger grape that adds volume, and a bit of Graziano and Masuelo to bring more color and more acidity to the blend. This is a Reserva wine that spends about 24 months in oak barrels. Again, the barrels are assembled at Bodegas Muga itself, which is pretty rare. Most wineries buy the barrels from the coopers. They build them on site at Muga. Straight away, while the first two were pretty approachable, easygoing wines, this is a much bigger wine straight from smelling it. The color is pretty dense and pretty big. Caramel, vanilla, dark chocolate, together with jammy fruit, prune, ripe dark plum, blackberry. Just from smelling it, you know, you could think this could be a Napa wine. This could be maybe a Southern Rhone wine, except that it's probably a lot oakier than most French wines or most Italian wines. What strikes on the palate is that this is dry red. It's got body, it's got shoulders, it's mouth-watering, it's salivating, it's very oaky, loads and loads of dark chocolate. Often American oak used in Rioja wines. I suspect there's quite a fair bit here, which brings a lot more coconut, caramel, bourbon-like type of flavor. A lot of this going on here. But as opposed to most Napa big California wines, this is really dry. It's got some sort of austerity to the palate. It tickles the side of your tongue. A big burst of vibrant red fruit, ripe red fruit, red blackberry, red or dark blackberry. Sense of minerality from the acidity that is going to make it pair really well with big, bold, spicy flavors, but more on the refined side of cuisine. This to me is a solid 91 out of 100 points wine. So this is getting super interesting in a serious wine. So as a summary, Muga wines, I'm very, very happily impressed. Those are super well executed, very well made wines. They all crisp, powerful, punchy, interesting, food friendly, balanced as well, which is very important. They're all very well balanced, very well thought. You know, big ups to the winemakers that make those. Go for it. Try them. If you can find them at a price that suits you, go for them. They're super interesting. I'm actually enjoying those very much. If you're interested in learning more of those higher-end, more expensive wines by Muga, stay tuned. Next episode of Tasting with Julie will be coming soon. So this has got about 80% Jura with, is that right? Yeah, 70% Jura. I think there's 10%. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like those wines. Oh, sorry for that interruption. The battery on my camera died on me. If you're new here and you want to learn about wines, subscribe. I don't know, I'm just saying that because everyone says that on YouTube. But yeah, so let me know what you'd like to hear more of. Apart from jokes, I'm not very good with jokes, but you know, as I get more comfortable, I will come up with more and more jokes. Anything that you'd like to know more about those wines, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers. If you love the oaky, bold style of Rioja, I think this is a good buy.